Hello and welcome to Powerline Podcasts. We are pleased to bring to you the second episode of our special 12-part series, Discom Perspective, featuring views and insights from top leaders in India's power distribution sector and offering a closer look at the realities shaping the industry today. For this episode of Distribution Perspective, I am your host Priyanka Kwatra, editor of Powerline magazine. I am also joined by Mr. Alok Brara, publisher of Powerline. We are very pleased to have with us today Mr. Alok Kumar, Director General of the All India Discom Association, which has 57 members across public and private. They account for more than 75% of the distribution segment. Until recently, Mr. Kumar was Secretary Ministry of Power at the helm of the sector. He earlier headed Discoms and Transcos in Uttar Pradesh, the biggest state in India. So he brings vast experience in addition to his current responsibilities. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Kumar, and thank you for being with us today. This podcast series is being sponsored by STS Association, an international organization that develops and maintains the standard transfer specification for prepaid meters. Joining us from STS Association is Don Taylor. He's a renowned pioneer in the field of prepayment metering. With that, we are ready to begin with the discussion. Mr. Brara will ask the first question.
To begin with, I would also like to thank Mr. Kumar. It's an honor to have him here with us. Mr. Kumar, my first question is, what have been some of the key noteworthy achievements in the power distribution segment over the last 3 years, which I should mention were a result of some of your own initiatives? Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Very happy to be here with you. So if I see the distribution segment in India has achieved several noticeable, things or goals in the past 3-4 years. Loss reduction, if we speak in terms of operational efficiency, they have come down to around 15%, and that is the target set by RDSS scheme that losses should come between 12 to 15%. There's still 2 more years to go. Even more noticeable is the reduction of gap between average cost of supply and average revenue realized, which was around 51 paisa per unit, 3 years ago. It has come down to 6 paisa, though it is still negative, but it has been substantially reduced. Another thing which I will mention here is the smart metering rollout. It has been very aggressive, though not as much as we had targeted, but unprecedented in the world. More than 60 million smart meters installed, mostly in last 3 years. Consumer services have also improved. If we see the number of discoms who are now in the top 3 categories, A+, A and B+, their numbers have doubled between the last 3 years. And I will say the turnaround story, if you see in absolute, in aggregate numbers, the yearly losses have turned into some small profit for all the discounts put together. So these are, in my mind, in my view, are the major achievements which are noteworthy.
Mr. Kumar, what are the key focus areas of discoms, say, for the next 3 years, and what are their key goals?
I'll say the topmost priority continues to be the loss reduction. So I will say in the next 3 years, the loss reduction should touch to single-digit figure, and that is what, because global benchmarks are less than 10%; they are 8-9% or say for geography like India. So and the ACS ARR gap, that is the per unit what you lose or what you gain, should turn positive. Like if you give an example of Gujarat, they have a positive 40 paisa per unit. So that means after meeting your costs, something is left for your investment. And so investment and for some return to the investor. That is one. I think second thing will be the larger use of smart meter data. The smart meters are now generating huge data, but we are able to use hardly 10%. So the priority would be to productively use the data for further say, efficiency improvements for better consumer services. And third thing I will say is more scientific demand forecasting for power procurement optimization and use of demand flexibility for your cost optimization. And fourth, I'll say is a work in progress. The more balanced allocation of risk between the generators and the distributors. The historically legacy, when there were no markets, most of the risk, whether it is demand risk, price risk, was taken by discoms. But now things have changed. Demand risk has increased, and there are avenues for mislitigation for the generators in terms of price and demand risk. So the goal is to have more balanced, say, allocation of risks between the players. So these are the same important things we intend to achieve.
Yeah. And Mr. Kumar, in order to achieve these goals, what are the policies or plans or programs or other forms of initiatives that you think are particularly noteworthy?
I'll say the faster completion of the project sanctioned under RDSS is the most important initiative, because if you see the progress figures, currently only about 38-39% of the sanctioned works have been completed in terms of physical progress. And if we are able to complete those works in the next 1.5 years, that should lead to significant reduction in technical losses, because there will be more HT lines, more new service stations, upgradation of the system. One. Second important thing is the capacity building for the staff of utilities to use the smart meter data. So a lot of capacity building initiatives are being taken by Ministry of Power, and we have a lot of, say, technical initiatives like India Energy Stack and data sharing policy, in my mind. Rapid rollout of the demand flexibility programs. This is a new area for, at least for the government-owned discoms. Some private discoms in the country, they have already done some pilots in demand flexibility, but it is almost at a very initial stage in the government-owned discoms. That is one important thing. And I'll say deeper adoption of resource adequacy planning, which will be based on the use of smart data, should lead to more effective more cost-effective power procurement, and also better reliability of power supply. And in that line, we and in All India Discoms Association, we are also will be launching very shortly a resource and knowledge center to bring the expertise from India, outside India, at the service of the discoms, say, for faster adoption of technologies, for capacity building, the problem solving. So these are the major initiatives which I can mention here.
If I can follow up, Mr. Kumar, in terms of India Energy Stack, which I think you've been very intimately involved with as a member of the task force, how would that benefit discoms?
It will benefit discoms in a way. The data which is being coming in discoms is in silos within discom also. So once you have a common use of protocols and exchange say, rules, the data flow within the discom will improve. So whatever data is being generated by SCADA or smart meter, it can flow to the commercial department, to power procurement department, to the field formations. So it will, I am very strong believer that it will improve the productivity of the discoms through better use of data. And also the discoms will be able to have greater visibility of the system in terms of the distributed energy resources through use of IES. And thirdly, empowering the consumers through better data flow will enable them to adopt demand flexibility solutions. So IES will have manifold say benefits to discoms. One last thing, once more data flows to the public and researchers and say academic institutions, the collective effort to do better research and better modeling will lead to benefits to discoms at ecosystem level, not at individual discom level. So I see this, it's a great initiative.
Mr. Kumar, in view of the state of the sector and the initiatives and the programs that you discussed, what do you see as the key challenges in the sector?
I'll say the first challenge remains the ensuring cost reflective tariffs. Say, if you see the disallowances of the genuine expenses by some state regulatory commissions, that has been mentioned even by the even at the central minister also. Some state ministers have also been complaining that regulators are not doing their work properly, because these disallowances in the cost which discoms are incurring is leading to, say, their financial difficulties, underinvestment, and also, say, payment situations to their own generators and all. So, first challenge will be to have a healthy discourse and a healthy debate and a movement to the regulator as a community, understanding that long-term financial viability of utility is in the consumer interest. So they have to move in that direction. Second, I will say reliability in terms of SADI and SEFI is still, we are at a very low level in India. We compare with Singapore or even Malaysia or Kuala Lumpur. So we have to have more investments in the network upgrade if we have to improve our reliability. And third thing, I will say the risk allocation. With the larger integration of renewable energy, if you continue the present model of these 25 years long PPA with must run obligation, discoms are being exposed to huge demand and price risk. And if you don't manage that well, the cost of integration can go up very sharply as you increase the share of renewable energy. And this is a practical reality. You will not be able to pass on all such increases in the tariff easily. And if you don't control a power purchase cost through more balanced risk allocation between the generators and the discoms, so discoms financial difficulty may aggravate. And the fourth challenge is the very say large work required for the capacity building of the discom personnel. If you visit any discom, be it in, say, UP or Jharkhand or West Bengal or Assam, the competencies and skill sets for a assistant engineer or executive engineer are way behind what is required for adoption of new technologies and say like demand forecasting or smart meter data and all. So this is a big challenge because our workforce is huge. So we need say big national initiative to very quickly upgrade the skill sets of our people on the ground and also people in the discom headquarters who are managing the power procurement planning and system operations. So those are the big challenges in my view.
Yeah. Mr. Kumar, what is the expected capex in the segment over the next 2 to 3 years, and what would be the key areas of expenditure?
Say, I will first talk of the requirement.
Yeah.
The Central Electricity Authority came out with a draft distribution plan sometimes in year 2024. And they had estimated that between the period 2022 to 30, in about 8 years, the requirement was assessed at around 7.5 lakh crores. So if you divide that by say 8 years, so it will be anywhere around say 80 to 90 lakhs per year. But difficulty is if you see the RDSS outlay, which is around 3 lakh crores, and it is being implemented from 21 to 27. So if you divide that, we will hardly touch a figure of 50 lakh crores per year. And CA has also given in that draft proposal that the availability of the investment in terms of the sanctioned projects is significantly lower than the requirement. And so my sense is that the average annual say investment in distribution segment should be something around say 60 to 65 lakhs per year, because certain investments can come from private utilities, which is normally not reported. They are not in RDSS. So that is the figure, but India remains marginally underinvested in distribution segment for various reasons. They are heavily dependent on government schemes, and their cash flow position, their financial situation doesn't allow them to invest more. So issue is that both cost efficiency, operational efficiency improvement, but also giving them cost effective tariffs. Only then we will have say, a semblance of adequate investment for what is required to serve the load and improve reliability.
Mr. Kumar, talking about loss reduction and revenue protection, what kind of measures are utility undertaking to achieve these objectives?
Loss reduction, the initial point is the billing efficiency. Because billing efficiency captures both technical losses as well as commercial losses, all theft and tamper and all. So I say two things which are being taken is as I said earlier also, the huge investment in the network upgrade under RDSS. My sense is this will bring down technical losses maybe by 2-3% in the next 2-3 years. Second biggest intervention is the smart metering. The correct meter is at the heart of the distribution company operations. If you are able to ensure a correct meter functioning and generating bill regularly to the consumers, that billing efficiency should go up by around 4 to 5%, which will include say around 2% from technical losses reduction and maybe 3 to 4% from the commercial loss, say not collection, but sort of this thefts and clifferages and all. So if you are able, currently the billing efficiency in India is around 87%. And if you take the technical losses, if ideal thing is around 6-7%, so your billing efficiency should go to 90 to 93%. And if you increase your billing efficiency by 4 to 5%, it will be a game changer, because every 1% is a huge money in say thousands of crores of rupees. Right. That is the one biggest thing. Second is the tariff rebalancing, I'll say, is important thing which should be required, and it has started. There are two aspects. Currently, utilities, they are able to collect hardly 15-20% of the fixed cost to demand charges. So if the sales are low because of the weather and all, their collection is less, because demand charges collect, there are under collection of fixed cost, and the energy charges are dependent on sales. So if the weather is there is monsoon, there's a lower temperature, utility will suffer. So their cost structure is very different than their tariff structure. So I see there is a movement, and we have also pleaded to Ministry Power that the demand charges should be say recalibrated to increasingly recover their fixed cost. So that is one important thing. And second thing is that the fair allocation of costs, because if the net metering consumer is reaping the benefits, and the consumer is still using the network and not paying sufficient say fixed cost, then utility revenue gets affected. Similarly, open access consumers. So we say the fair allocation of costs. Whosoever is using the grid should pay the fixed costs. I'll say another measure is the TOU, the time of use tariffs. Because once you bring time of use tariffs, that means your revenue inflow is more aligned to your procurement costs. So utilities are incurring heavy costs by procuring in the peak period, that is the evening and say non-solar hours. But the tariff is flat. So if you align your tariff structure in line with your procurement costs, because procurement costs are lower in the day, solar power is available in abundance. So time of day tariff, time of use tariffs will bring this balance in the revenue flow, and also they will make possible to have demand flexibility, so that you can avoid some of the peak procurement costs. And one more thing is the special tariff for large loads. We are hearing in Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra and in Tamil Nadu, some data center type of activities are coming, like big large loads are coming. Ideally, those large loads should come to discoms by a by designing a special tariff for such large loads, so that the benefit of additional sales remains with the distribution companies. But they will not come to discoms with a conventional tariff. So there has to be a special tariff for them, which reflects true costs because they are the bulk consumers. So bulk consumers takes less cost to serve. Of course, there are initial upgrade costs involved. So we need to do a structure where they share the burden of the initial upgrade costs, but thereafter, till the time they continue to have draw power from discoms, they should be given a more competitive tariff because cost to serve at higher voltages is far less. But currently, such consumers are charged more because of cross subsidies. Right. So we have to do some tweak for the tariff. The tariff in terms of the fixed charge, tariff in terms of time of use tariff for large loads, and more work on the billing efficiency, the technical loss reduction. These are important things for the loss reduction and for revenue protection.
Okay. I'm now going to bring Mr. Taylor into conversation. Mr. Taylor is a pioneer in prepaid metering. Mr. Taylor, first of all, if you have a question for Mr. Kumar, and then after that, I might have a question for you, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. My question is quite simple and straightforward. Given the fact that the SDS Association is a standards organization promoting international open standards for prepayment meters and smart meters, we would be interested in an opportunity to present the advantages of these standards to the appropriate forum within the Discom, or alternatively, as you would advise to distribution companies, whoever is in the metering part. So my ultimate question to you is, could you explain what avenue there is available to us to reach out to such a forum?
Yeah, no, this is a very important topic. And our association, we organize from time to time, learning best practices webinar, and we present a lot of experience from international experts. So you'll be welcome. But if we talk of prepaid metering, it is a slightly nuanced, topic in the India's power sector discourse. Initially, when the RDSS scheme was approved, this revamped distribution segment scheme, sector scheme, prepaid metering was sort of compulsory. But as we rolled out prepaid metering en masse, there was backlash and some opposition also from many consumers. It's a matter of adoption and change. So prepaid metering can be seen in two segments. For certain segments like large loads or like the government consumers and large commercial consumers, they can onboard the prepaid metering right away because the benefits are manifold, because you enjoy rebate. Then you also monitor consumption on day-to-day basis. But for the smaller consumers, the current thinking and the feedback from the field organizations is this adoption has to be little nuanced, initially voluntary. We have to attract the smaller consumers to prepaid metering through giving them attractive rebates and demonstrate them that this is not against them. So what you are saying, technology and protocols is one part. That, of course, is most welcome to share. But its adoption will be is more to do with your policy and your nudging the consumers and ensuring that there is no backlash, there are no apprehensions. It will calibrated and gradual. But fact remains that we'll be happy to organize such webinars where useful technical information, emerging information can be shared with the distribution companies.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. Can I take that as an indication that we are able to make contact with the Discom to do that, or how should we go about it?
Mr. Taylor, we'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Priyanka?
Mr. Kumar, regarding network management strategies, how are these evolving with the growing power demand and increasing renewable energy integration?
Very interesting question. And this is an area where we are just dipping our toes, because traditionally scientific planning has been done more at the, say, transmission networks. Because if you see, transmission planning has evolved. So there are sophisticated models and transmission planning criteria. But distribution network planning has been very ad hoc so far, because there are not many tools available, not much data was available, and the power flow was one way, and demand was continuously growing, and demand did not have huge uncertainties like we are now witnessing. Moreover, now there is a reverse power flow, because there are distributed renewable energy installations embedded in the network, like solar rooftop installations, or say electric vehicles, or irrigation pump sets which are running on solar. So now it's a very complex situation. Both there are demand is uncertain, and power flows happening in both directions. So now we have undertaken a pilot project in collaboration with the Central City Authority, in which we will like to do a more very scientific, say, integrated distribution resource planning in 5 cities or part of the cities in different discoms. The idea is that once you have modeled your network, existing network, then you run different scenarios of your demand over a year and in the next 5 years. So it is not only peak load. The situation may change even in other hours. The load is not peaking, because maybe your solar rooftop is generating too much, but demand is not. Net demand is not peak load. So in those cases, the present scientific tools, they can tell us whether we require a network upgrade solution, or a non-wire solution, or some reconfiguration solution in the network. So it is not straightforward. For example, if a distribution transformer is getting overloaded for only 50 hours in a year, then, and general demand is not growing that much, because there is some electric charging station has come up, or in some pockets some new say one consumer has come up, and it is a demand pattern which is very say episodial. So maybe it is not prudent to upgrade the whole network from upstream. It is maybe useful to set up a small battery there, and which can take up such local constraints. So now there is an attempt to do a integrated distribution resource planning in the same manner as do resource adequacy planning at the utility level. So you integrate your generation pattern not only from what you are importing, but also what you are exporting from your DREs. You take the demand pattern, you also take the general demand growth in the next 5 years. And if you find that the general demand growth is not so heavy, which justifies investment in network upgrade, you can take such solutions like a local small battery or reconfiguration of feeders and all. So we are very much at it, and I am hopeful that once these new techniques are proven in these pilot projects, we will get down to work with all the distribution companies and give them a good manual and good handholding workshops. So network planning is now bound to see huge change in positive direction, maybe in next 2 to 3 years.
Mr. Kumar, final question. What's the technology, new technology that you personally are very excited about, that you feel the utilities should definitely consider deploying?
I'll say digital twins is a technology which is emerging now as a very good solution for simulation of your network. How will it function and behave under different generation patterns and different seasons? We see the two pilots in Jaipur Discom. They have done digital twins up to the 11 kV feeder, and they are using it. Of course, there are some challenges, but in BRPL area in Delhi, they have done digital twinning below 11 kV.
Right.
They are done only for, say, DT level and LT level. So it is being tried, say, in different formats in some discoms, but it has a huge potential of replication, because once you are able to model your existing network,
Right.
and you are able to see the pattern of, say, power flows in different seasons and in different times of day, then you can do better planning, not only your system network upgrade, but also your power procurement planning. And you can also get to know the concepts like hosting capacity, which distribution transformer in your city or in your area will be able to host more rooftops. So you don't put rooftops everywhere.
Right.
So you do your DRE penetration in a way that what your network can absorb the least cost. So I'm very say excited about these possibilities.
Right.
Another technology is a software technology, is the use of AI, artificial intelligence and machine language, because there are now use cases which are possible because of very huge data, granular data being available to a distribution company for very scientific demand forecasting, both in short term and medium to long term. And something like predictive asset maintenance through AI, which can say take the best out of your asset and minimize the O&M costs. So things are looking up, and I'm very optimistic that in the next 3 years, the distribution segment will see significant improvements.
With that, we come to the close of today's podcast. Thank you so much, Mr. Kumar, for joining us today and for your very insightful perspective.
And thank you, Mr. Taylor, for being here as well.
Yeah, thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, Alokji, and thank you, Mr. Taylor. It has been a wonderful interaction, and I hope it will be useful to our audience and to our viewers also. Thank you so much.